Hello and welcome back. In today's video I want to summarise all the little dribs and drabs and blibs of information that are floating around about Synology's new range of Rackstation series. There's not a vast amount we know about some of the devices that are going to be revealed in the next month or two, but I wanted to make one video where I kind of bunched it all together because I've done 2 or 3 in the last few weeks, each of which with little nuggets of information that's come out. So rather than you guys having to watch all of those and follow them, I thought I'd summarise it all into one big video. In this video, we're going to cover 3 types of news. The first news is the devices that I'm pretty much 99% are real and coming very, very soon. Then we have another few solutions that we've heard about that I think, although real, might not be coming as soon as anything else, and maybe a little later into this first quarter of the year. And then we've got a few on the end there that I honestly do not know what they are. They could be typos, they could be real things, but without further ado, let's crack on. Firstly, the 2 solutions which I'm pretty certain are not only definitely coming, but are ones that are coming relatively soon. And that is the RS2421RP Plus and non-RP, I believe, as well, but also the RS2821 Plus. These are 12 and 16 bay devices respectively. They're part of the Plus series of Rackstation series. So again, although we don't have confirmation about the internal CPU and memory spec of these or any of the devices today, all of the devices we're talking about today are ones where the real specifications are still very, very ambiguous at the moment. It has to be said that these 2 we can almost certainly confirm are going to end up having that Ryzen processor, the V1500B, and with that 4 gig of ECC DDR4 memory. Now these are going to follow suit, I believe, on that of the likes of the RS1221 Plus or 1221RP Plus, which means again that 4 gig of memory that can be upgraded to at least 32 gig. It's going to be that Ryzen embedded processor there. It's going to be 4 LAN. It's going to be PCIe Gen 3x8. I don't think we're going to see NVMe on these. I don't think we're going to see those M2 slots on this. If they didn't go for it in the 1221 Plus, I can't see it happening in the others, but again, like everything in this video, it is TBC all the way through. Now, they are 2 and 3U rack mounts respectively, and the ones that, you know, these are the ones we know the most about, simply because via a process of elimination and most recent releases, we can pretty much garner all the information we want, and just from Model ID alone. But our next stage of rack mount releases that we've heard about from numerous sites that have, you know, cropped up even more in the last week since we last spoke about it, are of course the 3 XS grade rack mounts. These are the RS3621Xs Plus, the RS3621RPxs, and the RS4021xs Plus. 2 12 bays and a 16 bay. Now, we know practically nothing about these. We can pretty much ascertain the likes of the number of bays on them in those 2 12 bays and the 16 bay. We know they're almost certainly going to be Xeon based there, although they did make a switch from Intel Atom to Intel Embedded Ryzen. I'm not 100% certain if they're going to continue that logic into XS. Maybe they'll prove me and everyone else wrong, and maybe go for some high-end Ryzen on there as well. But most certainly, given things like Hyper-V and VMware and compatibility of those VMs based platforms in conjunction for business, it would not surprise me if they continue with that lineage of newer generation Intels on these, and particularly those Xeons. Now, again, XS there and XS Plus being slightly different ranges, just like we saw in the 17 series. These are still all going to be big old rack mount devices with redundant power supplies almost exclusively on all 3. And of course, these are going to be devices that support expansion devices for their respective ranges. Once again, just as we've seen in the 17 series that came before it. Now, again, these are ones that are far more powerful. These are the Big Daddy units. When they were originally revealed, I believe they were revealed in the very, very, very early stages of 2017. Generally, this kind of solution falls into the first part of the year. Synology have fallen into that pattern of releasing their high-end rack mounts at the start of the year. So don't be surprised if this is very much a range of solutions that's going to come in the next month or 2. But it's our 3rd section, and again, we are going to call this one kind of like the alternative what are these devices, because this is practically a guessing game at this point. It was brought to my attention on official Synology community forum. A user by the name of Puto or Pato, P-U-T-T-O. I'm really sorry, dude, if you're watching this and I've got your name wrong there. There was a comment on there about product ID list that they'd come across, and there was 2 model IDs in there alongside some of the ones that we've talked about already today that I honestly can hand on heart tell you I have no idea what they are, and I will welcome your input on what they are. The first one is the SA6500. Now, I don't know what to tell you. There are several SA units, the SA3200D, the SA3400 I believe as well. Those are those SAS and SATA enabled rack mount devices. They're very, very powerful units indeed. But 6500 is a denomination of numbers that I genuinely can't figure out where that sits, unless there's an expansion that I don't know about. I don't know the division of 6500 there in terms of how you're going to make that number up via a process of elimination of base SATA and SAS ports and an expansion. And so unless this is a whole new kind of beast, or there's a different numbering system being utilized on this device, it's going to be interesting to see, 1, if that's real, and 2, just what the heck is it. And the second device is another one, and this is an FS series, and this is the FS6600N. Now, maybe someone's trolling me on this, but to me, that sounds like 2 things. 1, it sounds like a flash station, and that N on the end, let's hope we are talking NVMe. Maybe a SAS-based U2 or U3 system, you never know, but the N on the end does seem to promise quite a lot. We've seen letters utilised before, and again, as aforementioned 3200D, we've seen that thrown around, and maybe either one of these devices is that 60 bay device that we did mention once, the HD 6400. Maybe one of these 2 is that very device that's moved away from prototype and into some sort of formal release. But these are the 3 kinds of rack mount solution that we talked about today, in terms of definitely coming soon, coming relatively soon, and just what the heck are they. Let me know in the comments what you think. And again, nothing today can be considered concrete. Everything is TBC, but nevertheless, update your searches and keep an eye on the channel. Subscribe if you want to learn more or be kept abreast of these new releases. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, click like. Otherwise, I will see you next time.